Hey yo, how's everybody doing? So this video is going to be for my for Modified Monday. Um, we've got a few things here on the table. I'm going to start with first of all. I'm going to start with this here. Um, Obviously, this is a Kabar. I should have gotten a little more information maybe on this one. Um, but this is actually a knife that I had done up for Mike's life. Um, so, what the deal was, first I'll show you this blade. We took this blade out. It had a slight bend at the tip, and it's a little whittled down. But also, which is very funny, I'll have to show you this a little bit later. But obviously, this should have a little bit more of a square to it, um, and maybe not so much a square, but it should have some angles, some corners up here, um, and you can see where the back spring is just kind of whoops filed down on that blade, and it's left that little, almost like a burr. um, There's a little sliver of metal, but this is a 1041. Um, so Mike, he wanted me to remove that blade and remove the back spring and the liner. It had a liner as well, and move the spay blade because it was originally on this side, with the nail nick facing the back side, what would be the pile side. Um, but he wanted me to move the blade to the main position. That way, the nail nick, fits in the where it's supposed to in this little serpentine sweep. Um, but it's also on the same side as the shield. So we took it all apart, got some brand new pins in it, um, polished her up a little bit, but she's got the snap, and she snaps closed. Now this blade is also slightly bent, unfortunately, but being carbon steel, uh, I didn't want a chance prying on it, or hammering on it at all. But it doesn't really, rub. It just kind of rests right on the edge. But anyways, just a fun little project that is long overdue. And again, Mike, I've apologized to you, but I am sorry. Other projects kind of took place, and I lost track of what I was supposed to be doing or should have been doing. So yeah, so this one's heading back over to Mike's life, and he's very understanding. So I thank you for that, Mike. But we'll set that to the side. So that was one project. Now, another project was this beauty right here. Now, I'm going to pull it off of here. Now, if you look at this thing wrong, it gets scratches. I mean, you'll scratch it easy. This is Remington UMC. Now, this tang stamp right here, this was used between 1921 and 1924. And this was in rough shape. I'll show some little pics from the eBay listing, and you'll understand why I was able to get this one for so cheap. But it was in very rough shape, and obviously she is now a fingerprint magnet. But this blade was also just like this one, so it didn't have any snap to it, and it actually had that kind of sliver, that little burr, where it just, you could see where the blade, was supposed to be, or where the metal was supposed to be. So I filed that little burr down. So this doesn't have any kind of snap to it, which is fine. I understand, being at least 101 years old, I don't think very many things are going to have much snap to them. And if they're snapping, they're breaking. But when I put this together, I pulled it apart, took the liner out of it, took the broken secondary blade, which was a pen blade, which, by the way, I'm sorry, this is a R219 jackknife, solid brass, no liners, nothing like that. It's just a solid brass. And again, it was in very rough shape. And you look at the blade and you'll probably say the blade looks rough, but it had a chip at the end, and it was very pitted up. I didn't want to sand all of the pits out, or even try to, not that they would. I like pitting on an old knife like this. I mean, those are just age spots, or wrinkles on a face. So it's just I sanded it a little bit, shined it up a little bit, but I wanted it to still kind of resemble an old knife. So again, it doesn't have any snap. I do still need to rework the tip a little bit and put an edge on it. I do, I do kind of want to carry this every once in a while. So I kind of want to fix that, and like I said, put a nice edge on it. And you can kind of see there where I've filed that chip out. And now I just need to come down here a little bit. I have dropped the kick, and I don't want to drop it too much. So I think that's as far down as I want to drop the kick. Now I'm just going to kind of drop the tip, so that when it's closed, you don't get that little tip sticking out. So we'll just kind of not round it, but just drop that tip a little bit. But just to think that this is at the youngest 101 years old is crazy to me. So that was a project that I've finished this week. I'm going to wipe this thing down, and then we're going to sit it back on the block up there. The next project, which I believe I've showed this off, this is actually the next generation tang stamp from this one. So that was a 1921 to 1924. This here is a 1924 to 1933 tang stamp. I always forget that I can bring this thing in a little bit closer for y'all. So, and this is the RH4 fixed blade hunting knife. In, I would say, excellent condition. I mean, in my opinion, the sheath had a tear in it. Not a tear, but the stitching, it was the original stitching, so it was just disintegrating and tearing apart. So pulled that all out, put new rivets in, and restitched it. And I just might carry this one. I kind of hate to damage the sheath, but not that it would damage it, but you know what I mean. But I used this pattern to make two sheaths here, and these are sheaths that I made. I'll go ahead and say who they're for. They're for Kevin, the knife doctor, and it's for these U.S. military. I believe these are like mess kit knives. I don't know if they came in a kit or what, but it's just like a soldered metal into an aluminum handle. And this one says US on it, but this one says the US, but on this side it says OL 1952. So I don't know if this knife was actually from 1952, but I did go ahead and kind of slick this one up a little bit on the stone, and these are very thin knives, so they're slicey, and I've kind of toyed with, since I've got two of them, kind of toyed with maybe modding one into like a drop point, instead of this kind of spear point, but that's besides the fact and for another video, I guess. But these are the sheaths that I made for them. Like I said, kind of similarly designed after this one. I showed Kevin how these fit into that sheath, and he loved it. So he was like, can you make something like that? So we did. He wanted the American flag stamped on there, so we've got that on both of them. And for this empty space up here, since the knife isn't quite, long enough, for that type of design, I went ahead and used that kind of empty space there for my stamp instead of putting it on the back. It would have probably taken pretty good on the back, but this being, the back side of the leather, I didn't know how well it would take, but he loved it, so we're going with it. So that's for Kevin, and thankfully I just happen to have these knives, and it fits really well. He wanted them to be tight. Technically, it doesn't really need the snap, just because of how tight this is. But he did. He wanted the snap, so we added the snap in there. Snap's good. And it's set up so, if this is on your right side, you can reach down and just hit it with your thumb and, pull the knife out. And being the type of sheath that it is and the type of blade that it is, it can be reversed and carried on the left side. And in that case, you would just reach down and flip forward, with your left hand and slide it out. So kind of an ambidextrous design. Not anything that I came up with, but just like I said, it works, because if you ended up carrying, and it doesn't have to be for this knife, but if you have some kind of spear point type knife, a sheath similar to this that has just a round nose to it, you can flip flop, and it can switch belt positions, waist, on each side of your waist. So just a really cool design, that has been around for obviously, a very long time. Like I said, if this is original to this knife, then this is a sheath from 1924 to 1933. Y'all do the math, because I can't do it right now on the spot. So, but that's about it. Like I said, I just wanted to kind of show something quick for Modified Monday. A few things that I've kind of been working on and wrapping up this week. Trying to catch up on things that have been on the list and waiting. So I thank everybody for watching. And keep a lookout. I'm going to set a reminder for a live that will be on Wednesday. It will be sometime in the late evening. I know people work, and even regardless, it'll be posted after the fact. So if anybody misses it, they'll be able to rewatch it. But on that live, we will be giving away the Bear & Son knife for my 1,000 subscriber giveaway that is long overdue. I'm sorry to keep y'all waiting. But everything, the entries have been closed. They've been closed now for about a week. I was hoping to get get all this wrapped up and done this past weekend, but it just didn't work out that way. So I apologize for everybody waiting, but it is coming Wednesday. We'll be finding out. We'll be doing a live drawing out of the hat, old school. I went through and wrote down every channel name that commented with a knife pattern, their favorite knife pattern is basically what I was asking. So we're going to put all of them into a hat. I've got them all written out already, so I'm getting everything prepared for Wednesday. So keep a lookout for that, and set your reminders when you see it. And again, I thank y'all for watching, and y'all have a great week. Peace.